Well, hello, friends. Today I'm going to be translating an interview that was done by Epigmenio Ibarra. And he did it, interviewed Andrés Manuel López Obrador at the palace. It was actually a very interesting visit, and it's part one that we're doing today. They did it on the 28th, Thursday, and so we're going to be going ahead and translating it tonight. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's go back to part one there so you can see what that was. I'm sorry, I missed that part. Okay, there it is, this part. And these 25 years that are registered always on camera. Okay, so now we go to second part. Okay, next part. Next part. Oops, wrong one. This one, I think. Okay, now this one.
Nada más voy a mostrarles la casa. Esta es mi casa, aquí nací, en Tepetitán, Macuspana, Tabasco. Estos son camellones chontales y aquí aprendí a trabajar con la gente en el campo, en las comunidades.
So he says, let's see what chontales are. Chontales. I guess it's like little townships or little areas, like little ranches in this part where he grew up.
Me siento muy orgulloso de eso.
And he says this is where he grew up and he's very proud of it. And here he's saying, I invite you to maintain your calmness. And I am asking something of you. On this day that we were assaulted. So this is the next one. Let's see if this is the one. Why is nothing there? I'm not seeing the words. Okay, that came up. Okay, I think you have to do this one. Okay. Wow, that is not the right one. Okay, so here it says, and he got almost to the cusp of power. Or the top. And here the people are yelling, you are not alone.
Ante este tribunal, por el juicio de desafuero en mi contra.
So this is a story of victory. So let's see if that's correct. Almost to the peak of power and a history of victories. There we go.
Aquí vamos a estar despachando desde el 1 de diciembre del 2010.
So here he's saying as of the 1st of December in 2018. And there he's saying to the palace
O a la chingada.
Or to a la chingada, which is the little town that he lives in, his home. That's the name of it.
A Palenque, Chiapas.
And it's in Palenque, Chiapas. But in Spanish, a la chingada is actually kind of like going to hell. It's kind of a harsh way to put it, but that's what it was called before he bought it.
Pero yo creo que va a ser a Palacio, porque la gente quiere.
And he says, but I think I'm going to the palace because the people want me to.
Que haya un cambio.
Because the people want to change. Okay, so let's see. And so now it says, okay, I think, and a people that rises. And people are chanting, President, President. They were very happy he won. And he went to the palace.
Recuerda lo que te dije, a Palenque, a Palacio.
And he said, remember what I said, to Palenque or to the palace.
Pueblo de México hizo que fuese a Palacio.
And because the people of Mexico wanted it to be the palace,
Yo no le voy a fallar
I will not fail them,
al pueblo de México. Voy a
the people of Mexico.
estar a la altura de este gran pueblo.
I will rise to the measures of this great people,
El pueblo mexicano.
the Mexican people. And this group right here, let's see. This, I believe, is, I have this already set aside. Oh, here it is. This group here. So we're going to have to go like this. This is who I am. Part 3. All right.
La disponibilidad actual con esta fecha de corte, que es la de hoy, serían 28% disponibles, ocupado todavía el 72%.
Para aquella petición de 1 millón de cubrebocas 3M que nos tiene parado el gobierno de Estados Unidos con la empresa 3M.
So they were saying that regarding the face shields, that the U.S. has blocked them, I guess, from selling from the company 3M.
Que es que la tasa de muertos anuales de 580 por cada.
And so they had a rate of deaths of 580
100,000 habitantes versus 25
for every 100,000 inhabitants.
que tiene COVID.
And this says days of change.
Apoyo adentro. Esto no debe de pasar.
And he says this should not be happening.
Nosotros somos representantes del Estado mexicano.
We are the representatives of the people of Mexico.
Nosotros tenemos que representar al pueblo.
And we need to represent the people.
Dije varias veces de que iba a ser una transformación pacífica.
And I have said it many times that I was going to make a peaceful transformation.
Pero igual de profunda.
but with the same
como la
profoundness
independencia, como la reforma y como la...
as the independence and the reform and the
Esas tres
revolution.
transformaciones se tuvieron que hacer con las armas.
But those three transformations had to do with arms.
Revolución distinta.
Distinta.
So he said, so this is a revolution that's different, but a revolution all the same.
Sí.
Yes.
Porque estamos arrancando de raíz.
Yes, because we are pulling it from its roots.
El principal mal de México, la corrupción.
The principal badness of Mexico, which is corruption.
Despacho presidencial no es la silla famosa.
He says, this is my office. This is where I usually stay for service. And it's not the famous chair.
En la que no se quiso sentar Zapata.
Which Zapata refused to sit on.
Sí se sentó Villa. Zapata no quiso.
But Villa sat in it. Pancho Villa sat in it, but Zapata did not want to.
Porque dijo que estaba embrujada.
Because he said it was bewitched.
Yo de todas maneras la mandé a
I had it cleaned, even so.
limpiar antes. Pero aquí trabajo, esta es la oficina.
And this is where I work. This is the office.
Del presidente no se usaba.
This is the office of the president, and it wasn't being used before.
Porque, como sabes, los presidentes despachaban.
Because, as you know, the presidents used to have their meetings
Fundamentalmente en Los Pinos.
usually at Los Pinos Castle.
Yo decidí venirme acá,
And I decided to come here instead,
a Palacio,
to the palace.
no solo a trabajar, sino también a vivir.
Not only to work, but also to live.
Como lo hizo en su tiempo Benito Juárez.
Just as Benito Juárez did in his day.
Él vivió aquí,
He lived here,
en la intendencia del imperio.
during the time of the imperialism.
En lo que era la intendencia del imperio, porque este palacio
Yes, during the time of the imperialist, because yes, this palace
pues fue virreinal, pero también imperial.
yes, it also was a kingdom, but it also was imperialist.
Aquí estuvo Maximiliano, Carlota.
And Maximiliano and Carlota were here.
Aquí hay todavía piezas de esa época.
And we have pieces of that time here still.
Del imperio.
From the imperial time.
Y luego la república.
And then the republic.
Antes y después del imperio.
Before and after the imperialism.
Estuvo aquí Juárez.
Juárez was here.
Y aquí murió. Y por eso
and he died here. And for that reason,
decidí
I
vivir
decide-
aquí. Ven, te voy a
I decided to live here. And come over this way. I want to show you something.
mostrar. Esta es la parte, vamos a decir, más antigua, histórica.
So this is the part that is most antique or ancient
Del palacio.
that is to say, of the palace.
Estos son los corredores.
These are the corridors.
Este se llama el patio de honor.
And this one is called the patio of honor.
Aquí está la escalera.
And here is the staircase.
Principal.
That is the main stairway.
Este es un primer piso. Mira, te
And this is the first floor. But look over here.
hablaba yo de Maximiliano. Esta pieza es de Maximiliano.
And this piece here is of the time of Maximiliano.
Está el imperio.
Yes, from the imperial time.
Está la corona.
And there is the crown.
Lo mismo esto.
Also this one.
Por favor.
Y ahí está el inefable.
Sí. Ah, aquí
Oh,
están
yes.
los presidentes.
And here you can see the presidents.
Es Comonfort, Juárez,
It's Juárez,
Lerdo,
Lerdo,
Porfirio,
Porfirio,
Madero,
Madero,
Venustiano Carranza.
Venustiano Carranza.
Están todos.
All of them are here.
De la Huerta,
Huerta,
Obregón,
Obregón,
Calles,
Tailes,
Portegil,
Portegil,
todos los que
all of them.
siguieron.
All the ones that
Mira.
followed.
Esta es una sala de juntas también.
And this is a meeting room also.
Aquí firmamos Zapata.
De la época, sí.
Aquí,
Yes.
aquí nosotros
And this is
estamos,
of the
firmamos
time of
Sí,
Zapata.
Porque esa silla,
Yes, that
también
chair
presidencial,
was also presidential
es
chair.
antigua.
Is antique.
La silla original,
The
en la que
original
se
chair.
sentó Villa, está abajo en un museo.
The one that Villa sat in is downstairs in a museum.
Se tiene.
And we
Y
have
de
it.
los camellones chontales a este esplendor.
Imagínate,
Look at the
Este-
splendor.
no olvido de dónde vengo.
But I do not forget where I come from.
No olvido que vengo de abajo. Vengo
I don't forget that I come from the lowest parts
del pueblo.
of the people.
Y por eso
And for this
estoy
reason,
aquí,
I am
que
here.
es el sitio, el recinto del poder público,
And this is the place of public power for the people.
más importante de México, pero
And this is an important place in Mexico, but
no dejo de pensar y
I don't stop thinking about it,
de llevar a la práctica
of taking into practice
el principio de que el poder
the principle that power
dimana del pueblo y se
comes from the people,
instituye para su beneficio.
and it is instituted for their benefit.
Yo soy un representante
I am a representative
del pueblo de México
of the people of Mexico,
y de manera muy especial,
and in a very special way,
aunque represento a todos,
even though I represent all of them,
es un timbre de orgullo
it is a point of pride
poder representar más,
to be able to represent more so,
darles preferencias, si se puede decir así,
and to actually give preference, if you could say it that way,
a los pobres,
to the poor people,
a los necesitados.
those that are in need.
Este es el Leona Vicario.
And this is called Leona Vicario.
Tenía otro nombre.
It used to be called something else before.
Se han ido también arreglando.
And we've been fixing this also.
Pero mira qué majestuosos.
And look how majestic it is.
Mira qué belleza.
Look how beautiful it is.
Este salón es el salón, lo bautizamos como Panamericano. Washington.
This living room we've named Pan American. Washington,
Carlos III,
the third,
el Libertador Bolívar,
the liberator Bolívar,
y Martí.
and Martí.
Que Martí está más presente que nunca. El pensamiento martiano parece ser una influencia decisiva, ¿no?
Sí,
And Martí is more present than ever. He seems to be a very decisive presence. Yes.
Hay que regresar a Martí, diría,
So let's go back to Martí, and I would say
Silvio Rodríguez.
Silvio Rodríguez.
Tenemos que inspirarnos tenemos que nuestros héroes, los
And we need to inspire ourselves with our heroes,
padres de nuestras patrias,
the forefathers of our country.
ahí está el proyecto.
And there is the project.
Lo que pasa es que se abandonó.
But what has happened is that they forgot about it, or it was abandoned.
Se fue eclipsando.
It was eclipsed.
Pero hay que regresar a Hidalgo, a Morelos,
But we must return to that of Hidalgo and Morelos,
a Juárez,
to Juárez,
a Martí, a Bolívar,
Martí and Bolívar,
a Madero,
and Madero,
a Villa, a Zapata, al general
Villa, Zapata,
Cárdenas.
General Cárdenas.
Ahí están las enseñanzas. Y
And there you have the teachings.
También
And also
a Salvador Allende,
Salvador Allende,
en el caso de América Latina,
in the case of Latin America,
a Nelson Mandela,
Nelson Mandela,
a Luther King,
Martin Luther King,
a Gandhi
Gandhi,
y a muchos otros
and many others,
que son referentes.
that they are points of reference or uh, people of that one would refer to.
Ser nacionales y universales.
We need to be nationals and universal.
Pero como decía Martí,
But as Martí used to say,
precisamente,
precisely,
aunque haya un injerto, decía,
he would say, even if there was a injerto, let's see what the word best translated. A graft.
con lo universal,
With the universal,
procuremos
we
que el
must
tronco sea nuestro.
we must make sure that the trunk is our own.
Que siempre el tronco sea nuestro.
That always the trunk be of our own.
No dejemos de ser internacionalistas,
We should not stop being internationalists,
universales, pero
universal, but
que no olvidemos nuestra identidad,
we must not forget our own identity,
nuestra idiosincrasia.
our own idiosyncrasies.
Un error gravísimo.
A very grave error.
Por eso fracasó el modelo neoliberal, entre otras cosas.
And for that reason, the neoliberals failed, among other things.
Es de que se impuso de manera homogénea,
Because they imposed in a homogeneous way,
sin respetar las características propias de cada pueblo, de cada nación.
without respecting the characteristics that were individual of each nation.
Por imposición.
They simply imposed upon them.
No es posible ni en México
It is not possible, even in Mexico,
hacer eso,
to do that,
porque México es un mosaico cultural.
because Mexico is a mosaic that is a cultural mosaic.
Son muchos Méxicos.
There's lots of Mexicos.
Entonces, imagínate una sola receta
So imagine using one recipe for all of it,
para todo el mundo,
for the whole world,
una sola agenda para todo el mundo,
one agenda for the whole world,
reformas estructurales para todo el mundo,
structural reforms for the whole world.
lo mismo, privatización para todo el mundo,
And the same way, privatizing the whole world,
reforma energética para todo el mundo,
energy reform for the whole world,
reforma laboral para todo el mundo,
laboral reform for the whole world,
reforma fiscal para todo el mundo.
fiscal reform for the whole world.
Igual,
The same way,
para aplicarse en España
to be applied in Spain
o en Francia
or in France
o en Argentina
or in Argentina
o en Brasil o en México.
or in Brazil or in Mexico.
Eso es un absurdo.
That is absurd.
Eso fue una actitud prepotente.
That was an like a thinking that they were all powerful.
Las políticas económicas se tienen que
Political economics needs to be
aplicar a
applied
partir de cada realidad.
based on each reality.
En el caso de nosotros fue vergonzoso
In the case of us, it was very embarrassing
que durante 30 años
that during 30 years,
no se hizo un plan de desarrollo
they did not make a plan for development
propio,
of our own
apegado a nuestra realidad.
that was in tune with our reality.
Se copiaban.
Siempre se copiaba.
They always copied.
¿Sí? Ahora el plan de desarrollo nuestro es distinto completamente.
And now the development plan that we have is completely different.
Fue una ruptura,
It was a rupturing, a tearing away,
un antes y un después.
a before and an after.
Y ya en el plan de desarrollo nuestro,
And now in our development plan,
pues lo fundamental
well, the fundamental part is
el bienestar,
is well-being,
es el combate a la corrupción,
is combating corruption,
la austeridad.
living austeriously.
Nada de eso estaba
None of this existed before
en el modelo neoliberal
within the neoliberal model
impuesto
that was imposed
por décadas
for
en
decades
el país.
onto our country.
Pero en fin, vamos a seguir.
But let's just go on.
Este es el Salón de Embajadores.
And this is the ambassador's salon or living room.
Aquí se recibían las cartas credenciales. Yo
And this is where they received the credential letters.
ya no lo hago así.
But I don't do it like this anymore.
Yo recibo a los embajadores en el despacho.
Now I just receive the ambassadors in my office.
Pero era para esto,
But this is what this was designed for.
el salón.
Un gobierno austero tiene también
Sí,
que conservar, digamos.
And so the man there is saying, and I believe it's Epigmenio Ibarra that is saying, so we have an austerious government now, right? And he says, yes.
Una línea de actuación
Sí.
incluso en estas instalaciones.
sí. Cambiar, mantener el protocolo republicano.
He says, we're maintaining the Republican protocol
Con algunos cambios.
with a few changes.
Y este es el salón principal.
And this is the principal salon.
Mira la belleza.
Look at the beauty of it.
Son retratos de la época.
It's paintings of that time.
Retratos de la batalla de Puebla.
And there you can see the Battle of Puebla.
Ese está pintado
And this one was painted
1868.
in 1868.
El encuentro de Tenochtitlan
And that's the encounter of Tepechitlan.
Moctezuma,
And Montezuma,
Cortés.
Cortés.
Este es el balcón.
This is the balcony.
Desde donde se hace el grito.
Sí.
And this is where you did the yell from. Yes.
Aquí es
Yes, it is here.
Bajo del cual
el grito.
pero debajo del cual se celebraron las jornadas de lucha durante muchos años.
Muchos años.
So this is where they've celebrated the yell for many years. Yes, many years.
Muchos años, con momentos muy tristes.
Sí.
In very sad moments.
Pues aquí estuvimos protestando.
Yes, we were protesting here before. He's trying to open the door, but I think it has a lock on top.
¿Podrás?
He can reach.
No.
It's very
Vamos
high.
a utilizar una silla de estas.
He says, we're going to grab a chair and utilize it to get up there.
Vamos.
They're climbing up to take the lock off the door. Okay, they did it.
No le pasó nada.
He says, oh, nothing happened to it. He stepped on one of those famous chairs.
Ya estuviera aquí el Estado Mayor.
Ah, sí. ¿Sabes cuántos cuidaban al presidente, verdad?
Do you know how many used to take care of the
8,000.
president? 8,000 people.
Esta es la plaza.
This is the plaza.
Estamos en la cuarentena por
And we're in quarantine right now
el coronavirus.
due to the coronavirus.
De todas maneras,
But in any case, and the people are, there is a man out there with a megaphone that is saying, we are very proud that you are in this palace. We voted for you because we knew you were the one. And for that reason, you are there. And you are a great president, and we appreciate your support for the older adults, for the mothers that have no husband, or what is that? Single mothers, for the students, and for all of us. We needed a president exactly to the stature that you reach. And so we're here today because we came on the 27th of April and nobody saw us. And we're here regarding Article 8, and we know that you are a person that listens to his people. And we congratulate you. And we hope that your government is the best of all. So there's some kind of commission that they're looking for something regarding jobs, I think. And he says, and we are here because we believe firmly in Andrés Manuel López Obrador.
les van a atender ahora.
And he said, they'll attend to you today.
Sí.
We'll wait for you here, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sana distancia, sana distancia.
And he says, make sure you keep safe distance. Yes, safe distance, sir.
Sí, estuvimos en el balcón de allá enfrente.
Allá, allá, es la jefatura de gobierno. Sí.
There, that's where the government's factored at.
¿Te acuerdas, no?
Do you recall?
Estuvimos hablando de cómo
Ah, sí, me acuerdo que
el
de...
desafuero de...
Sí, sí.
Yes, I recall I was talking about when they were trying to kick me out.
que
Sí,
se
sí,
salió de ahí
sí.
y ahora acá.
And you came out there and now here.
Estaba la promesa de Palenque
And you made the promise about Palenque
a Palacio.
or somewhere else.
Guapalenque, Guapalacios.
Palenque or Palacio, right? Right.
Sí, ese video muy bueno.
Yes, that was a very good video.
Vamos a saber.
He says, let's go ahead and close this.
Pero la ruta de ese balcón a este balcón
But the route from that balcony to this balcony
se hizo con una promesa a la
was made with a promise
gente,
to the people
transformar el país.
Sí.
to transform the country. Yes.
Yo siento que con la epidemia,
I think that with this epidemic,
esta promesa va tomando cuerpo
this promise is making, it's being formed
acelerada y profundamente.
in an accelerated and profound way.
Sí,
Yes.
ya nosotros, Epigmenio,
Yes, we now, Mr. Epigmenio,
sabíamos
we already knew
de el fracaso del modelo neoliberal.
that the neoliberal period was a failure
Desde antes de llegar a la presidencia.
since before I arrived at the presidency.
Y ya no lo tomamos en cuenta.
And we don't take it into account anymore.
En el plan de desarrollo al que hice mención,
In the development plan to which I mentioned before,
ya no está
it no longer is there,
el modelo neoliberal.
that neoliberal model.
Definimos una política distinta
We defined a new type of politics
para atender a la gente,
in order to attend to the people,
una política democrática.
a politics that's democratic.
Decía yo que en la economía
I used to say that in economy,
no podía haber poder sin pueblo.
I said there could not be power without the people.
Es decir, kratos sin demos.
That is to say, gratos in demos.
La economía no tiene por qué estar al servicio
The economy should not be at the service
de una minoría.
of a minority.
La economía tiene que representar
The economy must be represented or represent
los anhelos de todo un pueblo.
the wishes of all the people.
Entonces, un cambio importante fue ese,
And that was one of the important changes that was made.
el que el gobierno
That the government
dejó de ser un comité
stopped being a committee
al servicio de una minoría
at the service of a minority.
y ahora representa a todos los mexicanos, a ricos, a
And now it represents all the people, all the Mexican people, the rich, the poor,
pobres, de todas las religiones,
of all religions,
creyentes, no creyentes,
believers, unbelievers,
de todas las maneras de pensar,
in every way of thinking,
garantizando todas las libertades,
guaranteeing all the liberties,
la diversidad,
diversity,
las culturas.
the cultures.
Entonces, esa es parte de la transformación.
So therefore that is part of the transformation,
El separar el poder económico del poder político.
by separating the economic power from the political power.
Lo que me recomendó un migrante,
What a migrant recommended to me once,
lo he contado muchas veces, ¿no?
and I have said it many times,
En San Quintín,
in San Quintín,
Baja California, que me dijo,
in Baja California, and he said to me,
así como el presidente Juárez separó al Estado
just like President Juarez stood at the state
de la iglesia, porque a Dios lo que es de Dios y al César lo que es del César,
because he said, what belongs to the church, and what belongs to Caesar, to Caesar.
así ahora, licenciado, que ganemos,
And now, he says, what we would earn,
recuerde, hay que separar
remember, we must separate it.
el poder económico del poder político, que el
The power of politics from the power of economy,
gobierno represente a todos. Y eso
and that the government should represent all of them, everyone.
es lo que estamos haciendo.
And that is what we are doing.
Entonces, ya teníamos los lineamientos generales, ya
And we already had the general alignments.
se habían puesto en práctica
We had already begun to put into practice
esas acciones
these actions
nuevas
that were new,
de atender a todos, pero
of attending everyone, but
de darle preferencia a los pobres,
giving preference to the poor people,
de no permitir la corrupción,
of not permitting corruption,
de terminar con los privilegios fiscales,
and ending with privileges for taxes,
la mala costumbre de condonar los impuestos
the bad habit of condoning taxes
a las grandes corporaciones.
to the large corporations.
No pagaban impuestos
They didn't pay taxes,
los de arriba.
those that were on top.
Una gran injusticia,
A great injustice,
un agravio,
an egregious,
el que todos los mexicanos
that all the Mexican people
pagaran impuestos
paid taxes,
y un puñado
and a certain handful
de privilegiados
of privileged ones
no cumpliera
didn't comply
con su responsabilidad de contribuir
with their responsibility to contribute
en el desarrollo del país.
with the development of our country.
Entonces, se les condonaban los impuestos.
So therefore, they were condoning their taxes.
Estoy hablando de grandes corporaciones.
And I am speaking of large, very large corporations,
Miles de millones de pesos.
thousands of millions of pesos.
Entonces, pusimos orden.
So we put that in order.
Habían deudas
There were debts
de miles de millones de pesos. Hace
of thousands of millions of pesos.
unos días
Just a few days ago,
hablé
I spoke of it,
que 15 grandes contribuyentes
that 15 large contributors
le debían a la hacienda pública
owed the Treasury
50,000 millones de pesos.
50,000 million pesos.
Entonces todo eso se está corrigiendo.
And all of that is being corrected.
Ya es delito grave la corrupción, que
And now corruption is a grave crime,
no lo era,
which it did not used to be.
y muchos otros cambios.
And many other changes.
Y esto pues ha generado reacciones.
And this has generated reactions.
No están de acuerdo los conservadores.
The conservatives are not in agreement with this.
¿Por qué hablo del conservadurismo? Bueno, porque
And why do I speak of conservatism? Well, because
son los partidarios de mantener el statu quo,
they are parties that want to maintain the status quo.
es decir, que se mantengan los privilegios,
They wanted it to be maintained, these privileges,
que continúe el régimen de injusticias,
that they wanted it to continue with a regimen of injustices,
de corrupción.
of corruption.
Entonces, ellos no ven con buenos ojos
So they don't look upon this with good eyes.
esta transformación, pero nosotros llegamos.
That is to say, they don't see this transformation as something good, but we arrived here
Para transformar,
to transform it,
no por la parafernalia
not for the paraphernalia
del poder.
of power.
Llegamos para hacer historia
We came to make history,
y no le vamos a fallar al
and we will not fail the people.
pueblo. Entonces ahora con la pandemia,
And now with a pandemic,
esa misma política
that same politics,
la hemos profundizado,
we've made it more profound.
porque cuando se presentaban crisis,
Because in the past, when crises were presented,
durante el tiempo del neoliberalismo,
during the time of the neoliberalism or the neoliberal period,
¿qué se hacía? Bueno, pues se recurría
so what did they do with it? Well, at that time, they would do a run
a endeudar al país,
towards getting the country in debt.
se aumentaba el precio de las gasolinas,
They would raise the price of gas.
Habían recortes que afectaban a los trabajadores.
There were shortages that affected the workers,
Esas
or cutbacks.
eran las recetas, ¿no?
That was the recipe they used.
Se rescataba a las grandes empresas, a las grandes corporaciones.
And they used to rescue the large companies, the large corporations
Que abusaban.
that used to abuse.
Bueno, en épocas de crisis
Well, in times of crisis,
era cuando más se desataba la corrupción.
that is when corruption used to really take off,
Entonces, ahora no.
but not now.
Ahora no. Ahora dijimos, no vamos a endeudar al país.
And now we don't do that. We say we are not going to put our country in debt.
Aquí me llevaría tiempo explicarlo, pero bueno,
Here it would take me a long time to explain it, but well,
es relativamente sencillo.
it is relatively simple actually.
La deuda personal,
The personal debt,
la deuda nuestra,
our own debt,
la deuda tuya, la mía,
yours, mine,
que es poca,
which is a small amount.
me refiero a la deuda material.
I'm referring to material debts.
Si tenemos alguna deuda,
If we have a certain debt,
pues si nos morimos,
well, if we die,
esperemos que no sea así,
well, let's hope it doesn't happen like that.
ya ni Vero, ni Beatriz, ni nuestros hijos van a pagar nuestras deudas.
Neither our children nor our wives are going to pay our debts.
Ya no existimos y se acabó.
Well, if we no longer exist, then our debt ends.
Pero resulta que la deuda pública
But the results, what is happening here, is that the public debt
se hereda
is inherited
de generación en generación.
from generation to generation.
No se cancela,
It isn't canceled.
no desaparece.
It does not disappear or go away.
La deuda pública en el siglo XIX
The public debt in the 19th century
se mantuvo desde Santana,
was maintained since the time of Santana,
que empezó a endeudar al país
who began to put the country into debt
durante la República. Bueno, por eso
during the Republic time.
nos invadieron. Bueno, fue
And that is the reason why we were invaded.
el pretexto
Well, anyway, that was the pretext
para que Francia nos invadiera.
that France used to invade us,
Porque el presidente Juárez declaró una moratoria a la deuda, no había
because President Juarez declared a moratorium on debt
para pagar
because there was no money to pay it.
y se vio obligado a declarar una moratoria.
And he found himself obliged to declare a moratorium,
Y por eso nos invadieron los franceses.
and for that reason the French people invaded us.
Luego Porfirio Díaz tuvo que reconocer esa deuda que
And then Porfirio Díaz had to recognize that debt
venía desde Santana.
that was already existing from the time of Santana.
La deuda que contrajo también Porfirio Díaz
The debt which Porfirio Díaz also contracted,
porque se piensa que fue un gobierno muy eficaz
because they were thinking that it was a very efficient government
en lo económico.
when it came to economics.
Y lo cierto es que
But the truth is that
Porfirio Díaz también
Porfirio Díaz also indebted
endeudó al país,
our country,
sobre todo porque
especially because
compró las acciones
he bought the like titles or let's see what a good word for acciones is. Actions. Yeah, but they're talking more about like the rights or the stock. I believe it's more like stock or the ownership papers
de las empresas ferrocarrileras,
of the companies that own the railways,
las compañías extranjeras que tenían
the foreign companies
los ferrocarriles,
that own the railways.
fueron rescatadas
They were rescued
por el gobierno,
by the government.
una especie de foaproa
It was kind of like when they did the FOBA Proa
en aquel entonces.
at that time.
Y la deuda pasó a
And the debt passed on
manos
to the other hands
del gobierno.
of the government.
Los ferrocarriles se volvieron nacionales
The railways became part of the nation
porque el gobierno
because
compró los bonos,
the government had bought the bonds
se endeudó.
and it became indebted.
Pero mira lo que era ese régimen
But take a look at what that regime did.
para los insensatos que dicen que fue un buen gobierno.
For those people that are saying that it was a good government,
¿Ya era nuestro todo el sistema de ferrocarriles?
Well, it already belonged to us, the whole system of the railway.
Porque ya se había rescatado, se le había comprado a las empresas extranjeras.
Because it had been rescued. It had been bought from the foreign companies. Okay, I'm going to take a picture here. Give me a second because I really like how this looks. One moment. Okay. I'm going to copy this here. Okay.
Y los extranjeros seguían manejando los ferrocarriles.
And even though it belonged to us, the foreigners continued to control the railways.
Ya siendo nuestro.
Even though it belonged to us.
Doble saqueo.
Sí.
Yes, double the thievery.
Porque no se le tenía confianza, fe al pueblo.
Because they said they had no faith in the people
de México.
Of Mexico.
Es hasta Madero.
And then it wasn't till Madero.
En que ya empiezan los mexicanos a manejar los ferrocarriles.
That's when the Mexican people began to handle the railways.
Que eran nuestros.
That belonged
Pero bueno,
to us.
Las deudas se van heredando de generación en generación.
But in any case, the debts are transferred from generation to generation.
Últimamente hablábamos de el FOA-PROA.
And recently we were talking about the FOA-PROA.
Es una deuda que originalmente significaba 1 billón.
It is a debt that originally meant or was 1 million
de pesos.
Pesos.
Hace 20 años.
And that was 20 years ago.
Se han pagado de intereses otro billón.
And we've paid another billion in interest.
Y todavía la deuda se mantiene.
And still the debt is not dwindled.
El principal.
That is the principal.
En lo general tenemos con el FOA-PROA ese rescate que se hizo.
In general, that rescue in the FOA-PROA
grandes corporaciones.
That was done for the large corporations.
Esa operación de convertir deudas privadas de unos cuantos en deuda pública.
That was the operation where they converted the debt of a few people into the public debt.
Costó 3 billones de pesos.
Costed us 3 billion pesos.
Estamos pagando.
And we're still paying it.
Y se calcula que se va a terminar de pagar en 50 años.
And we calculate that it'll be finished paying off in 50 years.
Fíjate, nosotros llegamos aquí.
Imagine we arrived here.
Y por mantener la confianza.
And in order to maintain the confidence
en el país.
In the country.
Para no provocar una crisis.
In order to keep from provoking a crisis.
Para respetar acuerdos.
To respect agreements.
Decidimos seguir pagando los intereses de esa deuda.
We agreed or continued to pay the interest on that debt.
Y a mí me tocó, yo que estuve siempre en contra.
And it fell on me, I, who was always against it.
Del FOA-PROA, que escribí un libro que se llama FOA-PROA Expediente Abierto.
And I actually wrote a book called FOA-PROA, open file,
que documenté todo el saqueo.
and I documented all the thievery and looting.
Me toca a mí enviar desde el año pasado
And it fell on me since last year to send
el presupuesto
the budget
para la aprobación en la Cámara y ya
for the approval in the cabinet.
tengo que contemplar 40,000 millones de pesos de
And I have to contemplate 40,000 million pesos
intereses
just in interest
por un año.
for 1 year.
Este año también,
And this year again,
40, 50,000
40 or 50,000
millones de pesos solo de
million pesos just in interest
intereses del FOBAPRO.
for the FOBAPROA.
Entonces, no vamos a seguir con eso.
So we're not going to continue doing these things.
Viene la crisis sanitaria,
And so then the health crisis fell upon us,
la de el coronavirus,
that of the coronavirus,
la pandemia,
the pandemic.
y todos los gobiernos, siguiendo las recomendaciones del Fondo Monetario Internacional,
And all the governments were following the recommendations of the World Monetary Fund.
lo que hacen es endeudarse.
And what they did was become more indebted,
Nosotros no.
not us.
Nosotros ahora estamos profundizando en el combate a la corrupción,
And now what we are doing is making a profound fight against corruption
y en la austeridad.
and austerity.
Antes se le pedía al pueblo que se apretara el cinturón.
And before, they used to ask the people to tighten up their belts.
Ahora el gobierno es el que se está apretando el cinturón. Te
And now the government is the one that is tightening up their belts.
pongo un ejemplo.
Let me give you one example.
El último año del gobierno del presidente Peña,
The last year of the government of President Peña,
aquí en la presidencia,
here in the presidency,
ejercieron 3.600 millones de pesos.
they exercised 3,600 million pesos, or they used as their budget.
Nosotros ya el año pasado,
And we, last year,
el primer año de gobierno,
our first year of government,
ejercimos 800 millones.
we exercised the use of 800 million.
Es decir, 2.800 millones menos.
That is to say 2,800 million, 1,000 million less.
De 3.600
From 3,600
en el 2018
in the year 2018
a 800 millones
to 800 million
en el 2019.
in the year 2019.
Y este año,
And this year,
porque le estamos dando otra vuelta a la tuerca,
because we're tightening up the screws,
vamos a ejercer 600.
we're going to exercise only 600 million, 1,000 million
En la presidencia.
in the presidency.
Y no ha habido demérito.
And there hasn't been any demerits.
No vamos a presumir que es mejor ahora la presidencia que la que había antes.
We're not going to be boasting that the presidency is better now than it used to be.
Pero sí podemos decir,
But we can say,
cuando menos,
at the very least,
que pues es lo mismo.
that it's the same.
¿Cuál es la diferencia? Bueno,
So what's the difference?
ya. Mira cómo estamos aquí solos.
Yes, look at us, here alone.
Hablabas del Estado Mayor.
And you were speaking of the presidential assignment.
Ya no existe.
It doesn't exist anymore.
8,000 elementos para cuidar al presidente.
They used to have 8,000 people to take and guard the president.
Y toda la parafernalia de poder.
And the whole paraphernalia of power.
Los aviones.
The airplanes.
La servidumbre.
These servants.
Como si fuésemos una realeza.
Like if we were some great, real something or other.
Como parte de una monarquía y no.
Like if we were part of a monarchy.
De una república.
And not a republic.
Y te hablaba yo hace un momento de cómo hay que regresar a nuestros héroes, a las enseñanzas de nuestros héroes.
And I was telling you a few moments ago how we should be returning to the teachings of our heroes.
Es regresar a Juárez.
That is to return to the time of Juárez.
Que decía, el funcionario tiene que aprender a vivir.
He used to say, the high-functioning officials should learn or needs to learn how to live
en la justa medianía.
In the just median.
Esas son las enseñanzas que estamos aplicando.
Those are the teachings that we are now applying.
La transformación va. Y también
the transformation is going forth, and also I said, excuse me a moment.
Epigmenio, dije varias veces.
And I said it several times.
De que iba a ser una transformación pacífica.
That it was going to be a peaceful transformation.
Pero igual de profunda.
But with the same profoundness.
Como la independencia, como la reforma y como la revolución.
Like the independence, the reform, and the revolution.
Esas tres transformaciones se tuvieron que hacer con las armas.
Those three transformations had to be done with arms.
Una revolución distinta.
A different revolution.
Distinta.
Pero
yes, different.
Revolución.
Sí.
Yes, but a revolution nonetheless. Yes.
Porque estamos arrancando de raíz.
Because we are unrooting it.
El principal mal de México.
The worst or the principal badness in Mexico.
La corrupción.
The corruption.
Entonces, esto, como es natural,
but because this is natural,
genera inconformidades.
It generates inconformities.
Y hay grupos que se oponen.
And there are groups that are opposed.
De ahí viene el término reacción.
And that's where the term reaction comes from.
Los reaccionarios.
The reactionaries.
Yo creo que todavía no alcanzan a constituir.
I think they still haven't been able to constitute
un grupo reaccionario.
A reactionary group.
Porque todavía no se articulan
because they still have not articulated it
bien.
well.
Desde luego, sí están muy enojados,
But of course, they are very angry.
están de mal talento
They are in bad talents
y talante porque nos están atacando mucho en los medios
because they're attacking us a lot with the media
de comunicación
of communication,
convencionales,
the conventional media,
todos los días.
Y
every day.
están, incluso yo siento que pasan del enojo a la conspiración y a la
Sí.
incitación al golpe.
And he says, I think they go from anger to conspiracy and inciting.
Sí, pero no hay
Yes, but there isn't
condiciones para eso.
conditions for that.
No han podido crear esas condiciones.
They have not been able to successfully create those conditions.
Y además, nosotros tenemos el apoyo
And besides that, we have the support
de la gente,
of the people.
Cuauhtémoc.
We built this salon, Cuauhtémoc.
Cuauhtémoc, la dignidad de nuestro pueblo.
Cuauhtémoc, the dignity of our people. Talk on it.
A ver si podemos. La escalera de honor.
This is the honorable stairway.
No.
I don't think it's high. It's hard to reach. So I think he's going to have somebody go open it for him. Oh, wow. That's the stairwell.
Esta es la escalera de.
La patria es el palacio.
Te invito.
And I invite you.
Aquí
Here.
suben y bajan.
They
los
come
jefes
and
de
go,
Estado.
the people of states.
Tú representas al pueblo.
But you represent the people.
Ven.
Come with me. Come this way.
Ese es un derecho.
Yes, that's a right.
Y la frase
And the phrase
de Vicente Guerrero.
from Vicente
La patria
Guerrero,
es primero.
the people are first. Or our country is first. Homeland. The homeland is first. And so it's saying it to be continued. Awesome. I am so sorry. I just realized that there was a part of it that stayed mute. I'm going to have to go back and watch it and correct it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. Bye.